This week we're trying to get caught up on some editing. I got a little behind, took a lot of pictures, went along quite a few travels, but never had time to sit down and edit them. So this week we're continuing our series on editing. We've already done one. This is the second one this week, and this one is the Alabaster Fireworks show. I tried a new technique out on this one. Usually I set shutter priority and set it to about 3 seconds. Manual focus the lens, and usually 3 seconds gives you a nice firework display. This year I thought I would try bulb mode. That's the B setting. It's not a setting that you use all that often on the camera, but I thought I'd give it a try. So let's take a look at the pictures, see if any of them actually came out okay, and start editing Alabaster Fireworks. So as you can see, we've got the pictures loaded up in Lightroom and ready to go. Now this shot was taken before the fireworks started. It was starting to get dark. Oh, we didn't want to skip that one. Anyway, it was starting to get dark, but we took it at a 3.2 second exposure. This is sitting on a tripod, and this is in bulb mode. And it was really just to get, this is the moon, not the sun. And this is where the fireworks, or at least I thought the fireworks would come out behind here. As it turns out, the fireworks was way over here somewhere and I had to reposition. But I just thought this was a nice shot trying to get this silo in the picture with the moon. Now as you can see from the starburst effect around the moon, the 24-70 lens does a good job. I think it's a 9 blade diaphragm, 8 blade. Here's another one zoomed in a little bit. Moon's now behind the clouds. But I prefer this shot, the wider angle shot. We've got something going on here though. Anyway, let's edit this. Now as you can see, this was perfectly still. This was sitting on a tripod. But something over here was moving. You know, we don't need a lot of shadows or highlights because it's such a long exposure shot, but we do want to bring in the dehaze to make the sky just a smidge on the bluer side. Now we can also do this through tone correction here in the HSL tab. We could highlight the blues, lighten them, darken them. I don't want to do it that way though. So we'll take that back up. But if we do that, we now have a nice picture. The moon, this is actually the moonlight reflecting off the silo. Bring up the shadows just a bit to get the moss that's on the silo, and that turns out to be a fairly nice picture. So as I said, well, this is just a picture of the moon. 4.5 seconds. And here we go, the fireworks have now started. Now as I said, I had to reposition quickly, zoomed all the way out, so the first few shots might cut off some of the fireworks until I got it just right. I wasn't facing the right direction. There's a nice little burst going on. This one's a bit better. .2 seconds. Now with fireworks, you don't want a fast shutter speed, because then you'll just get little spots of light. You want to try and get these trails. Now here, there's actually two fireworks going off at the same time. The big green and I suppose orangey red, and then this purple one has just went off, and you're starting to get the trails. Now it's a shame I'm cutting off the top of this, but let's do a little bit of editing. As I said, I was trying a new technique here. Really not that much that you need to do to this. See, that works. Just bring in the clarity a little bit more. And I was in bulb mode. 5.2 seconds again, 5.3 seconds for this one. Firework coming up, going off, another one that went off previously, so you get the nice trail coming up from the ground. And look at this, look at the detail you've got in this picture. Nice and sharp. Now, when photographing fireworks, a lot of people say put it on manual focus and focus to infinity. Put it at a high enough ISO, f-stop, I'm at f13 here. But what I like to do is take the first shot in autofocus mode, and that way you get fairly much the proper plane that the fireworks are going to go off on. Then switch it to manual and leave it there. Just leave that. Don't let the camera hunt. You've already got the plane that you need. F13 gives you a fairly good depth of field, so you'll be able to get pictures like this that are tack sharp. Now I like this for this column here. That not so much. 6.3 seconds. We've got some streaks going on. This is a slightly better one. Look how sharp that is. Still got the trails, and you got the trails of, there must have been 3 or 4 lit off at the same time with this one. So this is a slightly better picture. As you can see, we've got trees. So I'm repositioning the camera at this point, trying to get everything in. I'm all the way out at 24mm. Really could have done with a 11 to 24mm. I was a little bit close in on the action, but let's bring in the colours. There we go, that's quite nice. Export that. And here we got one just right. And look at that, absolutely tack sharp. Great picture. We really don't want to bring in or bring down the highlights that much because it will dim the fireworks. You want to leave it as B, unless it's just too bright, you got too much going on. But I like this. This is nice. Here you can afford, because it's fireworks and because they're meant to be bright and colourful, you can really afford to pump up the vibrance and saturation and get those colours just absolutely popping. Still got this tree here. I didn't actually notice that this tree was here. Yeah, 8.8 seconds. Yeah, I didn't notice this tree was here because it was, at this point it was so dark. Like here, you can't see it. I didn't know that was actually in the left hand side of the frame. So pumping up the contrast on this will make the blacks blacker and the colours here more vibrant, stand out a lot more. It's a okay shot, it's not... The hardest part with fireworks, look at that, 5.8 seconds, is really trying to time it. You really don't want the highlights. Maybe just a smidge. There we go. Nice burst going off with the column. And yeah, look at that. Just sharp as can be. Love the 24-70 Canon lens. It looks like a lollipop. You don't call them lollipops over here. I'm not entirely sure what you actually call them. Suckers? Is that the word? Suckers? Yeah, bring in the saturation on that. Make it just pop, make it stunning. Really don't need, in fact we can take, if we take down the shadows all the way, we get rid of the tree and now you just get the fireworks. That one I don't know if it was too late or... Well, you can see it going up. It's a 7.7 seconds, so I should have had it going. Now this is a good one going on. 6.6 seconds. So it's slightly longer than the normal 3 seconds that I used to do. Take the shadows all the way down. And the blacks as well. Let's get this just popping. Get the colours going. Now this one could probably actually get cropped a bit. go. Oh, and that's another great one. 8.3 seconds. I'm really liking this bulb mode on fireworks. Shadows all the way down. We want the blacks. Now this one is a little bit on the bright side, so we do want to take the highlight down just a tad. Not that much. Bring in the clarity, start seeing some smoke clouds. Contrast, let's churn up the colours on this. And again, this is another one that we can actually crop. There we go. Dehaze a smidge and export. Now, though it's sharp, it really is sharp. Every single one of these is sharp. 6.8 seconds. It's not that nice of a picture. Here you've got more going on. So at this point, it looks like I've got the camera positioned correctly. I'm just a little bit high. I've got too much area up here and should have had it just a smidge lower. But we are getting some nice pictures set out. This one's 8.7 seconds. So again, we can crop in on this one a bit, get rid of where the tree was. There you go. Now, different people will tell you different things. A lot of people will tell you you don't want to crop if you don't have to. Yes, totally agree. If you don't have to crop, don't crop. But depending on what you're doing, there's no harm in my mind anyway, there's absolutely no harm in cropping a picture. So 2 fireworks obviously going off at the same time, 4.8 seconds. It's okay. This is a bit better. Wow, look at that 12-second exposure. There's even lines going on here. So let's bring this up, but let's crush the shadows and hit down on the blacks. We really don't want to see this tree. And since we're here, let's zoom in on that. And bring up the vibrancies. It's a little bright. Not really, I like that. I like the purples and the blues. I like that. Now, there's not, because the fireworks only took 15 minutes, start to finish, there's not that many pictures. You don't have that much time to take pictures. This one looks like a palm tree. I like that. bring up the contrast, the clarity. We're starting to see the smoke cloud come in a little bit, just a little bit more, and then bring down the shadows to get rid of this tree, but we're going to probably much crop it out anyway. There we go. And give me some colour, make the colour pop. Look at the oranges now, just vibrant. With the purple, that really does just look like a palm tree. I like that. I don't know if that's the effect that we're going for, but that one was only 2.9 seconds. So we've went anywhere from 2.9 seconds all the way up to 12 seconds. When you're in bulb mode, you press the shutter, Aperture opens, you're taking the photograph. When you release the shutter, that's your photograph taken. You control the length of it. This one was only 2.5 seconds. Nice little starburst, but we'll leave that. Nice palm tree effect going on there as well, but it's a bit low in the sky. This one's a little bit further up. Okay, let's keep going. Keep going. This one I like, 8.4 seconds. Now with more and more fireworks that go off, see the smoke that's starting to appear? Now, I don't mind seeing smoke. In the picture, sometimes it can liven the picture up, but in this instance I want to crush it as much as I can. We do want a little bit of clarity in here, probably a smidge down on the highlights. Bring in colour, we will crop. To there. Now with fireworks, you will see that shadows, yeah, it was pitch black sky, and we want the dark background against it. Unless there's something in the background, like if you're at Vulcan in Birmingham, you want to see Vulcan in the background if you can. Adds a lot of context. Here, I really wanted the silo, but I was at the wrong angle, couldn't get it. So essentially there's nothing in the background here, it's just black sky. Which is why there's just so much shadow. Highlights, two tiny little spots there, and some up here. But on fireworks, your highlights really, you can afford to blow them out a bit. It really doesn't make that much of a difference. Just as long as the whole frame's not white out. You do want to capture detail. Yeah, 2.8 seconds. It's okay. This potentially could be quite good. 6 seconds, the red and the blue. You can see the trails and where they actually exploded. So here's another one, lovely colours. Still getting 3 in the lines here. So first thing we want to do, enable profile correction. If you've got anything wrong with your lenses, the pin cushion, whatever, let's cancel. Lightroom has profiles built in for each lens. That's why it recognises this is the EF 2040-70, and hitting the enable profile correction takes the pin cushioning whatever out. 2040-70 wide open has some. It's a little bit much on the colour. Has some corrections that you need to do when it's wide open. You don't need to. It's personal preference. Everything's personal preference when it comes to pictures. So let's crop in on that. I like the way that these are coming off the side. Export, export. Yeah, no, 3.9 seconds. That's okay. Nope, 7.1. This one could have been good, except that I held it down a little bit too long to get this. Let's correct it anyway, just to see. We're going to need to crop in on this one, but get the contrast going, get a smidge on the clarity, get the colours pop in, bring down the shadows and down on the blacks. Not too much on this one because we will be cropping in. And let's take a look to see what this ends up as. Well, it's not too bad. We'll stick with that. Okay, little fizzy things going all over. This is better. Full frame, 2 bursts. Quite a bit of smoke starting to build up now. But bring down shadows, we'll bring down the blacks. Get some colour going in here. Oh, lovely, vibrant. There we go. It's as simple as that. That's basically the formula for it. 7 seconds. Nice fit going on here, but I'm going to leave this one. I do like these, and yeah, look how sharp they are. I do like this. Bring in the contrast, bring in the clarity just a tad. You don't want it over, because it also brings in the tree and the dust cloud, so you just want just a touch. Bring down the shadows, get rid of the tree in the background, bring down the blacks, and as you can see the tree's almost disappeared and we're left with the firework. Add some colour, just make it pop. Look at the reds and the purples. Dehaze it a smidge. Done. Yeah, it's okay. Not a lot in that one. That one's quite nice. Do we want it? Do we want it? That's the question. It's still tack sharp. Well, in order to see if we want it, let's edit it. Then crop it. To round about there. Yeah. Yeah, we want that. It's a nice picture. Nope. It's nice. I like the little streaky things going on. Nah. Nah. It's kind of like a lull in the show where they're only shooting one firework at a time. Maybe two. Similar to what we've got now, we've got two fireworks going off. Not the best. Center frame, 4.8. I do actually kind of like that. We want shadows down, we want blacks down. We do want to punch this colour, get the greens. I like the greens and the blues. Now this time we're actually going to crop it up the way. And in the way to about there. It's okay. Like the streaks? Nope. Not sure. Let's edit and find out. Contrast up a bit. Clarity just a smidge. Shadows in the blacks. Get some colour. Yeah, that kind of works. We'll take it. This seems to be a new thing this year. These seems to starbursts, I think they call them in the army. Palm tree effect. Yeah, okay. This one. This is a good one. 5.2 seconds, 24mm. I don't think I actually moved the lens off of 24mm. Once I had it set up, it was sitting on a tripod. You have to have a tripod to do this because you're shooting for such a length of time. It's just an absolute must. Bring in some color. Not too much, not too much. Don't overblow it. There we go. Nice pattern. This is that absolutely brilliant white starburst thing. Cut off. It's kind of nice with the white coming down. Bring down the shadows. Probably a bit more actually. Down the blacks. Get in with some colour. The purple just pop in now. dehaze it to clarify it just a smidge. And we can bring this in to about there. Nope. Not too bad. I like what's going on here, but we'll skip. Yeah, we'll skip that one and that one. We're hitting between 2 and 5 seconds at this point. If I can bring this out here, now this time we actually want shadows and we want to lessen. Let's keep the contrast where it is. Bring in the clarity and then the colors. Now this time we went the opposite way. We brought up the shadows because I wanted this slightly duller firework that obviously went off a bit beforehand. With this, now we are getting the tree here, so we can afford to crop that in a bit there and then just crop in the other side as well. And that ends up looking fairly nice. What happens just before I save it, bring up the shadows just this. Where do the shadows go? Just a smidge more. Yeah. Export. It's okay. It's okay. The other thing about fireworks is you never know what you're going to get until they go off. You don't know what kind of firework it is, what display it's going to give you. This is kind of nice. Just a smidge on the clarity side. This is one where we're going to turn the shadows down because there's nothing. We fairly much just want the firework like this. Get rid of the tree. We will crop this one in. Too much headroom. Right about there. Bring in the colours, make them just vivid and pop, because that's what fireworks are. Bright colours, that's what you want with fireworks. Which is why you can fairly much go nuts on the vibrance and saturation slides. I like the little starbursts going on around here. Colors, contrast just a smidge. Now we don't want to darken it too much because I like these little starbursts. Now I'm trying to bring down the blacks to get rid of the tree, but if we crop the tree out to start with, yeah, we do need to bring down the shadows. There we go. quite nice. And as you can see, there's another couple just launching. Now, as you can see from the slider here, we're getting slightly towards the end, so this is like the big finale coming up. I do like this one. And I'm liking these sort of palm tree effects. This is 3.1 seconds. So this is fairly much the exposure that I was taking last year. I had the shutter priority and was timing it to 3 seconds exact. So this is basically the fireworks or the images that I was getting last year. Yeah, it's okay. Nope. That one I like with the but I'll skip it. It's okay. Like the greens. Like the two playing on that. This is a good one. Let's take this one. Because it's very much going to be the full frame, we do want to crush this tree, so we do want shadows and blacks going down, contrast coming up a bit, get the colours going. As you can see, the tree's almost disappeared, which is what we want. Actually do a little bit more on the color to just make that pop. There we go. Export. Get the smoke trails here, red and green. So we're starting to get 1, 2, at least 3 going off. So this is fairly much in the finale. 1, 2, 3. 3.7 seconds in between. And then you get a picture like this. Where you've got one, probably the 3 that we saw earlier, popping off at the same time. Okay, so this one we will crop in, so don't need to worry too much about the shadow on the tree. Some colors. There. .1 seconds. It's okay. Nothing special there. Another one going up. And another one going up. And then you get to this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be fairly much full frame. So we will crush the shadows and the blacks and just get the fireworks. Excuse me. I do want to take it in just a smidge. In fact, what happens if we... What happened there? Control Z. On you go. Back. Don't jump over that much. If we take it like a portrait style. So about there. That works. No. That's nice and colourful. Going to be a big crop though. It's low down in the sky. Because we've cropped out the tree, I really don't need to take down shadows. I don't need to take it down the blacks. It fairly much is a black background we're on. I am going to take down the blacks just a tad. And the highlights just a smidge. There we go. We've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And this is where we're really getting the end of the fireworks, the multiple fireworks. So this is where you get your best pictures. You don't just have one firework that you're looking at. You've got a whole bunch going off at the same time. Now, one thing you do need to take care of is with one firework, you've got that one blast. If you've got 5, the sky's a lot brighter and a lot more will show up. So you've got to watch that you don't overexpose. Actually, I want a little bit more clarity in that. There we go. That's it. And here we are. Profile correction. Now, first things first, we will crop this and get rid of as much of this tree as we can. And just have the fireworks. Still got the tree, you can see it's slightly there, but I don't want to crush the shadows too much because of this. I want to try and keep that. So we pump up the clarity and you see it coming back in. Now unfortunately the trees start to come back in, but I can live with that. Get the colours going. I can live with that picture. That's nice. Another one. Same thing again. We're going to crop first. Get rid of as much of this unwanted tree as we can without making the picture look too bad. Bring in the clarity to bring in this, which will bring in the tree. So we do want to take this highlight, the shadows and the blacks down just a smidge, but not too much, because we want to keep this slightly lighter effect there. There, can live with that, that's good. Wow, so much going on here. 5 seconds. I'm going to leave that one. Nice, lots of starbursts coming off to the side. This one's much better. Let's do this one. Now look at all the smoke. Bring in the clarity, we're going to bring in that smoke. And lighten up the tree. So double click resets your sliders back to 0. So this time we do want to crush the blacks and the shadows. Shadows all the way? Yeah, fairly much. Just a smidge of clarity. But we do want to bring out the colours again. It's fireworks. And then dehaze gets rid of some of the smoke and you're left with this. Quite a nice picture. Nope, cut that off, but we saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Crop it first. Contrast. This time we do want clarity. We want to bring in this background. It's a nice what's going on. I love how it contrasts these real bright colours. So we do want to bring up the shadows just a tad on this one. There we go. It's fairly similar. And this tree's cutting off the left-hand edge here. I do like this one better than the next one, though. There's starting to get too much smoke, which is blurring things a bit. And there you have it. That was the Alabaster fireworks display that was done. It was actually done on July the 2nd, not July 4th. They done theirs a little bit early. But I hope through this video you learn a bit about how to take decent photographs of fireworks, and I hope you liked the photographs that I took. If you did, put your camera in bulb mode, put your ISO all the way down to ISO 100, give yourself some decent depth of field, f11, f13, and take it from there. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on the next editing session.